How you doing? My name is Pablo and today I'll talk to you about a new fragrance. Well, it's kind of like a new release and it's gonna be from ROJA DOVE and it's Apex. But let me tell you something, and this is a launch that actually blew my mind. It's been a while since a fragrance have blown my mind, and let me tell you something, ROJA DOVE did exactly that. And it's gonna be Apex from ROJA DOVE. First of all, let's start with the simple thing that we can start with, and it's gonna be the presentation, or in this case, the bottle of the fragrance. As you can see, it's gonna be pretty much the same silhouette as it always is. The main thing is that now it's like this dark color, but if you put it against light, you can see that it's gonna be green. But you know what's the new thing about this, and is that now we have an all black cap. How about we start with the smell itself, and let me tell you something, it's gonna be one of the best smells that I can find. It's been a while since a fragrance have blown my mind, and it's been a while since a niche fragrance have done it. So at the top notes, you're gonna have pretty much almost like every citrus that you can find in the market except by tangerine, but we have bergamot, lime, we have mandarin and orange as well. We have these four things that, I'll be honest to you, the first thing that you're gonna ever smell, it's gonna be the orange. The orange is gonna be pretty much the same orange as they always have presented. The main difference is that it's not like CK Everyone oranges, right? No, you know, like that the CK Everyone orange is gonna be like more synthetic type of orange, but in this case it smells a lot like the tree, the orange tree, right? If you have smelled orange tree, you know that it smells like almost dry, woody, but it has like this juicy part of the orange itself, as well as some like the orange blossom, right? Well, pretty much you have those things right here that are gonna make the fragrance pretty much very usable. If you're worried about the lime, the bergamot or the mandarin, don't worry, because they are not like super loud. They're gonna be like under the table making like a little bit of noise, but the most noise are gonna become from the orange itself. Since we have citrus part, what about a fruity part? And we're talking about pretty much pineapple and juniper berry. Well, these two things are gonna be pretty much the main things about the fragrance. These two are the things that we are gonna work with, right? We have pineapple, but don't expect to be like Ventus type of pineapple, because it isn't, right? It's more like a juicy type of pineapple, but let's put that to the side, because the main thing about the fragrance is gonna be juniper berry. And there's another thing that's gonna make the smell pretty unique, and it's gonna be fir balsam. Well, these two, fir balsam and juniper berry, are gonna work together. You know, the juniper berry is a little bit sweet, a little bit fruity. Well, you have this smell, but you have to add it to this balsamic type of fragrance, and it's gonna give you something like this balsamic, almost like resiny like type of, and then you add the fruitiness and the sweetness of the fragrance of the juniper berry. If you add these two, these are gonna be the thing that we work with. But that's not all for the fragrance, right? You have another things that are gonna be like pretty important to itself, and one of those are gonna be cypress. That's actually one of the main things, with patchouli and as well as some oak musk. Well, these three things are gonna be as well big plan of the fragrance, right? They pretty much make what the fragrance it is, right? It makes the fragrance a little bit greener. That's what we're looking for, right? Apex, pretty much you can see the bottle itself, it's gonna be green. That's gonna make you the green part. And to finish it all up, pretty much you have like all like kind of woody notes that you can find, almost like they're powdery, dry woody notes. You have it here, and as well as some benzoy, you have incense, leather and rum. All the pretty much good things that you can find in other fragrances, you're gonna find it right here. But what does the fragrance itself tell me? It tells me that it's a fragrance that when you first smell it, you're gonna have this blast of citrus, but it's gonna be specifically from orange. So the orange is gonna make you like pretty much the top notes of the fragrance, and then you have these juniper berry and balsamic fragrances with cypress, patchouli and oak moss that are gonna make the fragrance pretty green, pretty usable, and this think it's gonna make you like this old type of fragrance itself, but don't worry, we're gonna talk about this a little bit more later. And as base notes, you're gonna have leather, pretty much all of the woody notes, and if we can tell, a little bit of rum to make the fragrance a little bit spicier. Oh, now the fragrance itself, it has a vibe, right? It has a vibe, and it's gonna be the vibe that it's a old fragrance. What do I mean by this? Do you remember Polo Green? That type of scent that it gives you? Well, it's gonna be pretty much similar, but it isn't like 100%. It has the same type of vibe, something that's gonna remind you like an old school. Well, you still have that in here, but don't worry, this is gonna be only at the first smell. You have to allow the fragrance to, you know, sit itself, and this is gonna last between 1 to 2 hours, and then the fragrance is gonna be pretty much a delicious fragrance, right? A fragrance that you can smell it, it's gonna be like a really modern, but it's like a tribute to old school, but it's a modern fragrance. This is like the best possible way that I can tell you. So when you smell the fragrance, you're gonna be like, wow, this almost reminds me like my grandpa. You're right, it can happen. I'll be honest with you, it happened to me. The first time you're gonna smell it, you'll probably be like, it doesn't like get me at all, but you know, with the time that you're using it, you're gonna be like, wow, this is actually really good. So I truly recommend that you give some time to the fragrance. You can use it and you're gonna be like, wow, this fragrance is actually pretty goddamn good. And other things about fragrance is where that you can use it. And I use this fragrance, I'll be honest, where I live is like really hot, the heat is like really powerful, and the humidity is as well like really up. So I did use it in heat with humidity, and I can tell you that it's a fragrance that you can use it either in heat, like some heat that is like from Arizona, and the cold that is from Alaska. You can use it in either both places, right? It's a fragrance that is gonna be really versatile. You can use it in almost all temperatures. It's a fragrance that you can use almost in every occasion, right? But now, actually the occasion, the place that you can wear it. And it's a fragrance that this is gonna depend a lot on your age. Either if you're like a young dude like me or an old person. Like, for example, if you're like a young dude like me, don't expect to be a fragrance that you're gonna go in dates, you're gonna go to school, you're gonna get some chicks with this fragrance, because I'll be honest with you, you are not. It's a fragrance that you can use it almost like in formal events, like weddings, you're going to a party, or either in some dates, right? In some dates you can use it. I did use it like in some dates, and I can tell you it's a fragrance that you're gonna truly enjoy. But if you're like an older person, it's a fragrance that, I'll be honest with you, you can use it anytime you want it. You can either go to the job, or you can go to a date with your wife or whatever you're dating to. So it's a fragrance that you can use in both scenarios. But now, what about performance of the fragrance? It's a fragrance that, I'll be honest to you, it's gonna last around 12 hours on skin. I did test it, I did look up for it, and I can tell you and I can assure you it is gonna last this time. But the projection of the fragrance is gonna be pretty goddamn good, between 4 and 5 hours. And let me tell you something, it's a fragrance that it's actually gonna like fill up a room up with the fragrance. I can assure you that it's a fragrance that you can pretty much fill up a room with your own scent. But now, after the 5th hour, the fragrance, it stopped being constant. What do I mean by this? I do mean that it's a fragrance that, for example, there is gonna be points that you smell it and you don't, and you smell it and you don't, and you smell it and you don't. So you have to be prepared for that, or that was my case indeed. I can tell you that the fragrance, it has like the best quality of the market, but you know, it's ROJA Dove. We know that, right? We know that ROJA Dove are gonna bring you like the best top quality ingredients on the market, and in this case with Apex, they did that, right? It's a fragrance that you smell it and you're like, wow, it's actually pretty goddamn good. So there's pretty much nothing to discuss about the quality of the fragrance, because it's gonna be like first world fragrance. And now, one of the more important things about fragrance are gonna be compliments. Compliments are one of the things that get us to fragrances, let's be honest. And I can assure you that this fragrance is one of the best niche fragrances that have gotten me the most amount of compliments in a shortest time to be a niche fragrance. And I have another niche fragrance that have accomplished this, and it's Fire at Will, that your boy that have gotten me like a lot of compliments in the shortest time of possible. And Apex as well as Fire at Will have done that. So that's pretty much all for today. So smell you later.